A rivalry that dates back a long way, all the way back to 1926, gets another edition here in the Madison Square Garden from New York City, as the New York Rangers will play host to the Boston Bruins here tonight. And sit back and enjoy this one as we are underway here from New York. Boston will get the initial possession. Morgan Geekie flings it in around the boards. Gavrikov gets there first for New York, and they battle for it along the near half wall. Early knockdown there by Panarin, and Cooley brings it up ahead into the slot. He comes, denied out in front. Panarin gets it back up top. Fox intercepted in center by Morgan Geekie. Action to start this game for the Rangers on their first turn. Here's Panarin up top. He's pestered as it floats back into the Boston end. Zadorov gets there for the Bruins. A rivalry that dates back to 1926 when the Rangers went into the expansion as a team that joined the NHL. Boston 2 years earlier in 1924, making these two of the league's original U.S. franchises. They began facing each other immediately in 1926-27 season, and the rivalry has essentially run uninterrupted ever since. Just over a minute in, already a hot start to this game. Rangers win the face-off. Soucy feeds it up. Lindholm flags it out of the air. And a turnover in center for a moment. Laferriere feeds it to Will Borgen. And now Minton with the intercept in center. Here's Pasternak. Drops it off for Minton. Minton, a long shot, kicked aside by Shesterkin. Goes back behind the net. Rangers gain control. Turnover right in front. And denied by Shesterkin. Here comes Soucy back the other way. Soucy feeds it in around the boards. Good chance there for the Bruins. Now a chance here for the Rangers back behind the net. Frialt back up to the point. Soucy to the wing. Intercepted in center by Pasternak, and here he comes. Looking for a center, drops it off. Lindholm, a shot in the air, off the top of the net, and it goes back behind in the trapezoid. Coming to this side, the Rangers get there first. Rempe feeds it around. Here's Soucy. And the Rangers will get it out of the zone. Big hit on Laferriere as Karek fields it in deep. Bobble for a moment. Lindholm gains control for Boston. Just over 3 minutes gone by, scoreless here in New York. Mittelstadt gets hit, stays alive. Working it down low, out in front, Zacha couldn't get a clean one off. Again, a shot denied by Igor Shesterkin. No further play. .16:21 to go in the opening period. Face-off controlled by Boston. Down low, off the goalpost. It went all the way through and nearly snuck in. Battle for it in the corner now to the far half wall. In front, Zacha backhanded try, denied by Igor Shesterkin. Boston just kind of tried to float it into the slot, and it went off the goalpost. Nearly had a chance to go in, but we stay scoreless. Just over 4 minutes gone by. Face-off controlled by the Bruins. Peak lets it fly and gloved down again by Shesterkin. 7 shots on goal for Boston already to start this game. So another face-off here in the Rangers' end, controlled by the Bruins again. Long shot blocked away by Shesterkin, and the Rangers will finally get it out. Here's Rempe. Rempe feeds it in deep. Luray gets there first for Boston. Here comes Curley back the other way. Inside Mittelstadt, intercepted by Gavrikov, and here comes New York. Rempe feeds it in deep. 8 shots on goal for Boston, just 1 for the Rangers. Back up top, this is Fox. Gavrikov now feeds, back to Fox off a body in front. Goes into the corner. Berard there for the Rangers, kicks it in behind the net for Adam Fox. Fox battling in the trapezoid, tried to send it in front. Dangles back behind the net. Boston gains control, and out of the zone they come. Here's Victor Arvidsson. Head of steam out in front, saved by Shesterkin. 14:25 to go in the opening period. Another shot on goal for Boston to start this game. They lose this faceoff finally to the Rangers. Not for a moment now. Steve's on the doorstep, denied by Shesterkin again. 10 shots on goal already for the Bruins, and Shesterkin holding his ground to this point. Faceoff controlled by New York. Zibanejad taken off his stick beautifully by Zadorov. Morgan Geekie waits for help to come. Geekie down low, out in front, just wide. Shesterkin might have gotten a piece of it. Now up top, McAvoy lets it fly off a body in front, still loose in the slot. And the Rangers get it out. And now up ahead, Zibanejad with a head of steam. Zibanejad takes it in and denied by Swayman. No further play. A lot of action on both ends of the ice, more so in the Rangers' end. Faceoff controlled by Boston in their own end. Still scoreless here in New York, just underway between these two rivals. Pastrnak is in and denied by Shesterkin. Back behind the net, Rangers get to it first. Trocheck checks back in. Perriot fires, saved by Swayman. 12:54 to go, opening period. Faceoff controlled by Boston in their own end. 11 shots on goal to just 2 in favor of the Bruins. Rangers take it away at the blue line. Here's Trocheck, who tries to bring it in. Laferriere fires wide of the net. Rebound controlled by Lindholm. Boston will get it out again. And Will Borgen with good defense for the Rangers. Turns it over. And the Bruins feed it in. Battle for it in the near corner. Getting free out in front. And a shot off of Shesterkin. It goes wide. Bruins keep it in control. Float it back behind the net now. Penalty called. This one's going to be on the Rangers, on the Bruins. And now an extra man comes in for a moment. Boston touches it, and we get our first power play of the game. And it belongs to the New York Rangers as Eismo gets called for the penalty. So an opening period penalty here for the New York Rangers. You're in a scoreless game. Chance to gain some momentum and potentially take the lead here early against their rivals. Faceoff controlled by Boston. Lindholm will float it up but can't get it out. Brodzinski keeps it in. Battle for it along the wall. Now Boston clears the zone. Rangers looking to set up a play here. Zibanejad will start the break-in. Cross-ice pass intercepted by Lindholm for a moment. Brodzinski brings it back in, loses it to the far side. Boston looking to clear the zone again, but they can after some good contact. No, they can. Intercepted by Radish. Rangers keep it in. Just over a minute to go on the power play. Now they turn it over and Minton clears the zone. Long rebound controlled by Schneider off the far wall to Brodzinski. He brings it back in for the Rangers, looking for a centering pass out in front. Good stick there by the Bruins defensively. And Lindholm clears the zone. Under a minute to go on the power play here for the Rangers. Scoreless here in the opening period, just about halfway through this opening period. Carrick, Berard into the slot, fires. What a stop by Swayman. 31 seconds to go on the man advantage. And halfway through this opening period, the Rangers haven't had a whole lot of success on this penalty this far. Face off in the Bruins' end. Controlled by Boston. And the Bruins get it out again. Maybe one more push here for the Rangers. Oh, good race for the puck by Lindholm. Bruins bring it up short-handed, and a broken stick sends it into the corner on the near side. Now a long pass goes all the way through on net. And the Bruins can't get it out. Panarin loses it. Back to full strength comes Boston, and here comes Lindholm. Lindholm up ahead, drops it up to Eismo. Fresh out of the box, goes wide of the net. Back behind Lindholm. Into the corner. Back up top to the point. Shot off a body in front. Good defense by Panarin. And the Rangers will get it out over halfway through this opening period. Kostelic back in. Zibanejad takes it up the stick, and here come New York back the other way. Radish has it taken off his stick by McAvoy. Here's Victor Arvidsson. Now Kostelic. Kostelic up top, Middlestat. Broken stick on the ice. Good stick out in front. Zibanejad stopped it from going through. And now here come the Rangers back the other way. Radish looking for help. Radish centering pass, a shot, save, rebound. Still loose out in front. Panarin gets knocked down, and they play on. Good defense out in front by Boston. This one floats towards Swayman, who will just stop play with 8:02 to go in the opening period. Face-off controlled by Boston in their own end. Under 8 minutes to go, opening period, scoreless here at Madison Square Garden. McAvoy has it taken off his stick beautifully by the Rangers. Berard intercepted in center by Minton. Minton pestered as he brings it back in and sends it deep. Carrick cross-ice pass. This is Berard. Berard off a stick goes into the Bruins' end. Big hit along the wall. Rangers keep it in. Carrick into the slot, floats it, and too far. Zadorov gets there for Boston. Here's Pasternak, who gets crunched. Rangers take over in the Boston end. Carrick back behind the net, looking for a center out in front. It's loose in the slot and controlled by Boston. And here come the Bruins, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Middlestat on the outside, inside, McAvoy. Pasternak just wide. Might have hit the side of the net. Bruins keep it back in on this side and now turn it over to the Rangers, and here they come. Coyle keeps it alive, a shot denied by Swayman. 6:12 to go. Action starting to pick up on both ends of the ice now. Face-off controlled by the Bruins in their own end. Turnover. Up top, Fox intercepted by Morgan Geekie. Good defense there by Geekie. And here come the Bruins. Geekie to Steves, a shot. Blocked down by Shesterkin. Into the corner, back behind the net. Rangers get there and they'll look to get it out. They can't. Bruins keep it in. Morgan Geekie, a long shot, tipped down in front. Goes wide of the net. Steves now out in front, intercepted by Gavrikov. Bruins keep it alive. Lindholm whips on the shot. And now back in the middle. Good defense by Fox, kept in, downstairs, on the attack the Bruins, but a good takeaway by Radish. Multiple chances there for Boston, but the New York Rangers get it out. Here's Fox. Brings it in, looking for help, centering pass, downstairs, Swayman grabs it. 4:47 to go. .447 to go in the opening period. Face-off controlled by the Bruins as they work it back in their own end. Pete gets hit, turns it over. Zibanejad lets it fly, and Swayman says no. 4:31 to go in the opening period. Face-off in the Bruin end, controlled by the Rangers. Borgen lets it fly. What a stop on the retry by Swayman. Right on the doorstep. Look at this snare by Swayman. Man, he was about 3 feet away from him and let it fly. And he just put his glove up perfectly to make the stop. Face-off in the Bruins end, 4:26 to go, opening period, scoreless here from New York. Back up top, Borgen, long shot snared by Swayman again. Face-off not very cleanly won by Boston out in front of their own net, and then they turn it over again. Borgen fires, saved by Swayman again. Swayman holding his ground. Rangers starting to gain some momentum here. Face-off control by the Rangers. Shot blocked down by Swayman. Another turnover. Out in front, Panarin stopped again by Swayman. My goodness. Swayman is a brick wall right now for the Bruins. .349 to go. Another face-off controlled by New York. Will Borgen off the goalpost and into Swayman's grasp. Wow. The momentum is on the Rangers' side. Just trying to get it in the net right now. Face off again, controlled by New York. Will Borgen flips it into the slot, loose puck. Flipped off the goalpost again! Soucy that time let it fly. Rangers keep it in. Borgen score! They finally cash in! And it's Will Borgen to put the Rangers on top. It snuck through so many bodies out in front. The Rangers had it in. The Bruins in for a long time. And they finally cash in with Will Borgen putting it in to put the Rangers up 1-0. And this crowd feeling it here in this rivalry. Face-off controlled by New York. And they'll bring it right back into the Bruins zone. Back behind the net, out in front, denied by Swayman. Will Borgen, the goal scorer. One-timer goes wide of the net. Trocheck let it fly, and now here come the Bruins. Pastrnak gets hit at the blue line. Rangers take it right back over. And now a turnover to Pastrnak. Minton lets it fly off the body in front. Loose puck in the slot, shot, denied by Shesterkin. And the Rangers will get it out. Here's Laferriere. Lafreniere. Offsides. Couldn't handle it on his way through. Whistle stops the play. With 2.5 to go in the opening period, the Rangers break the ice. Good blocker saved by Shesterkin on the short side. 2.5 to go. We'll get a face-off in center after the offsides on New York. 15 shots on goal for each side in this opening period. Rempe circles his way in. Centering pass, a shot goes wide. Berard gets the rebound back up top. Schneider lets it fly, sticked around and controlled by Boston. Middlestad. Centering to Zacha, a shot off a body. That one hurts. Turnover. For a moment at least, New York gains control, can't get it out. Yes, they can. Offsides on Boston. 1:47 to go in the opening period. Face-off controlled by New York. Just under 2 to play in this opening period. Panarin centers it, and it's intercepted in center by the Bruins. Panarin gets it back and now turns it over. Bruins get it out. Kostelic feeds it around the boards. Just over a minute to go in the opening period. Schneider will start the break-in for the Rangers. He loses it to Lindholm. Curley, pestered on his way into the slot, floats back behind the net. Curley gets it back out in front. Eismo, score! Takes it right in on Shesterkin, and the Bruins tie us at 1. Think he fed that one right in between his legs. And the Bruins respond towards the end of this opening period to tie us at 1 apiece. What a start to this game. Very entertaining here in New York. 53 seconds to go in the opening period. And we're tied at 1 between these two rivals. Face-off controlled by the Rangers. Brodzinski brings it in. Fires and saved by Swayman. 44 seconds to go in the period. Face-off controlled by Boston in their own end. They'll get it out. Morgan Geekie. Lindholm in the top of the slot. Fires. Saved by Shesterkin. No further play. .27 seconds to go. Face-off controlled by Boston. Lindholm floats it towards the net. Tipped around out in front and denied by Shesterkin. Morgan Geekie was there on the doorstep. And now an intercept in center by Gavrikov. Here come the Rangers. Brodzinski loses it as he tried to feed it to Radish, who got it back, fires it off of the side of the net, and that'll do it for the opening period. Very entertaining start here from New York. 1-1 our score between Boston and New York. Start of the second period in what has been a very entertaining start to this game. 1 goal for either side. And we are set to flip sides and continue this battle between these two rivals. New York against Boston back underway to start the second period. Big hit as he brings it in on the blue line. Battle for it along the near boards. Zibanejad turns it, and now Coyle up top to Fox. Now Panarin on the point. Zibanejad now gains control. Gavrikov fires off the body in front. Panarin right on the doorstep, whipped on the shot. Good defense by the Bruins down low, and now here comes Boston back the other way. Lindholm drops it off for Geekie. One-timer denied by Igor Shesterkin. Face-off controlled by the Rangers. Coyle tried to work his way in, pestered on his way to the corner. Zadorov knocks him down. They play on. Bruins on the attack, back behind the net, wraparound try, can't handle it. No, he does score! What a play! And the Bruins take the lead here in New York early in the second period. Beautiful single-handed wraparound try for the Bruins to give them the lead. Kuznetsov puts it in past Shesterkin, and it's 2-1 Bruins. Trocheck brings it back in for the Rangers, now trailing by a goal. Good stick by the Bruins on his way in. Battle for it in the corner, back up top to Soucy. Broke his stick on his way through. Here's Pastrnak back the other way for the Bruins. 3-on-2. Pastrnak goes to the inside, fires, saved by Shesterkin. Comes to the near side, Mitten keeps it alive. Out in front, Pastrnak blocked out in front. Soucy gains the rebound for New York. And the Rangers will get it out. Soucy hit at the red line. Turned back over to the Bruins. Minton up top. Eismo a shot. Saved by Shesterkin. Face off here in the Rangers' end. Controlled by Boston. A long shot off a body. Rebound. Arvidsson let it fly, and it goes off of Shesterkin. Comes into the corner where they battle for it. Boston keeps it in. Middlestad loses it into the corner. Good defense by Schneider. Continuing to fight on the near side. Now Zacha turns, fires, tipped towards Shesterkin, who stops play. 16:55 to go in the second period. Face-off control by Boston. A shot off the goalpost! And Shesterkin snares it. Another ringer off the pipe. And this time it goes against Boston. Face-off again controlled by the Bruins. Arvidsson on the wing, back up top. One-timer blocked beautifully by Rempe. Here come the Rangers back the other way. Numbers if they hurry. Rempe to the outside, back behind the net. Out in front, tipped. And Boston with good defense on the attack. Zacha has it taken off his stick by Gavrikov. And here come the Rangers. Carrick. Wing, fire, save, Swayman. No further play. Face off here in the Bruins' end. Controlled by the Rangers. Borgen. Coyle. Turns it over into the slot. Controlled by Boston. That was Zadorov who got his stick in there. Crunch at the red line. Panarin takes it back for New York. And he brings it in. Zibanejad has it float back behind. And now a race for the puck. Bruins will get there first. Steves. Into the corner. Back up top. Zadorov. Fires. Splubbed down by Shesterkin. Long shot, good eyes by Igor Shesterkin, who makes the play. 15.5 to go. Face-off control by Boston. A shot, gloved down again by Shesterkin. Both of these goaltenders playing pretty well in this game. Shesterkin has had the latest adversity to get around. Giving up the latest 2 goals, Boston leads by 1. Face-off controlled by the Bruins. Zadorov lets it fly off of the blocker of Shesterkin. And the Rangers will get it out. Perrault in front. Laferriere denied out in front. And it gets tipped around to the point where the Bruins gain control. Curling loses it. Good stick by Borgen. Trocheck now for the Rangers. Back up top, Trocheck centers himself to the inside, now to the outside wing. Back up to the point, and Schneider. Schneider works it in. Back up top to Trocheck. Trocheck sends it in, tipped around into the slot. Loose puck controlled by Swayman. 14:23 to go in the second period. Intensity rising between these two rivals playing here in the middle of January. Face-off control by the Rangers. Schneider off of Swayman. Back behind the net, up top to the point. Another shot goes wide of the net. Circles back, kept in by Schneider. Out in front, loose puck in the slot. And it is still loose, and it floats out to Dowling on the wing. Sends it in again. Good defense by Boston again, as Geekie will bring it out here for the Bruins. Geekie fires, glove down by Shesterkin. 13:45 to go in the second period. Face-off controlled by New York in their own end. Gavrikov gets hit. Boston keeps it in. Lindholm fires off a body in front. The rebound still loose in the slot. Still loose. Body in front. Geekie now has it on the wing. Back up top to Lindholm. Lets it fly. That one might have hit the goalpost as well. And now Radish gains control for New York, offsides on Boston. So much action happening in between both sides of the nets. Face off in center, controlled by New York. Fox gets crushed at the blue line, turns it over. Fires a shot off the blocker of Shesterkin. Out in front, Pastrnak scores! What a feed! And Pastrnak puts it in to make it 3-1, Bruins. What a feed from back behind the net, and the one-timer by David Pastrnak. And the Bruins taking control here in New York. (3-1) Boston here in the second period. They've scored the latest 3 goals after the Rangers went out to a 1-0 start. Good stick there by Panarin. Brings it in for the Rangers. Centering pass out in front. Zibanejad. Loose puck in the slot. It goes through the blue paint and wide. And Boston keeps it out. Here's Pastrnak again. Head of steam. Pastrnak loses it to Panarin. Here's Coyle. Up top, Zibanejad. Zibanejad pestered by Peak. Boston takes control. Pastrnak again. Pastrnak brings it in. Drops it off to no man's land. Boston keeps it in. Lindholm on the point. Back to Peak. Downstairs. Onto the wing. Minton battles with Panarin. Minton turns, fires, saves Shesterkin. Goes into the corner. Pastrnak battles with Soucy now. And the Rangers get it out. Minton takes it right back in neutral ice. Minton cross ice to Lindholm. Into the slot, a shot. Lindholm now down low. Fires off the side of Shesterkin. Battle for it in the trapezoid. Soucy kicks it to the far side. Rangers are there. It's Will Borgen. And Panarin will bring it out here for New York. Panarin whips. Coyle gets it. Fires. Saved by Swayman. Goes into the corner. Coyle out in front. Backhanded try denied by Swayman. That was Laferriere who let it fly. Faceoff controlled by the Bruins. Middlestad, now Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson to the other side, Zadorov. Back and forth they come! Loose puck inside, and Shesterkin holds his ground. Battle for it into the corner. A lot of bodies down there. Along the near half wall, Rangers get it out. Berard up ahead, Rempe. Rempe dangles, whips on the shot attempt. Good stick there again by Boston. Schneider keeps it alive. Behind the net, Schneider looking for a place to go. Now into the corner, Schneider. Back up top, Dowling off a body, tipped in the slot. Radish gets it. Back up top. Intercepted by Middlestad. Here come the Bruins. Middlestad dangles, poked away to the corner by Dowling. Rangers gain control back behind their own net. Now Bruins take it back. Lindholm floats it into the corner where the Rangers gain control and attempt to get it out, but they can't. Downstairs, Lindholm out in front, curling up the side of the net, and Shesterkin finds it with 9:05 to go. Face off in the Rangers' end, controlled by New York. And here comes Lafreniere. Loses it in the slot. Loose puck available. Controlled by Boston. Morgan Geekie. Geekie. Tried to dangle it back. Loses it to Laferriere. Kept in by Boston. Geekie loses it into the corner. Perrault loses it as he tried to float it downstairs. Here's Morgan Geekie again. Geekie tried to get around, offsides on Boston. Face off here in the neutral ice controlled by the Rangers. Laferriere has it sticked away. Fox now battles to gain it back for the Rangers in neutral ice. Trocheck gets it away. And an intercept at the red line. A couple times there, a couple back-to-back turnovers there as they battle in neutral ice. Now bringing it in and shooting it towards the net. Sticked aside by Shesterkin. Curley. Kostelic fires. Sticked aside again by Shesterkin. Brzezinski gets there for the Rangers and they'll get it out. Fox turns it over again at the red line. Boston gains control, and now Zibanejad nearly had an open lane. Eismote gets control there for Boston, sends it in deep. Flip and follow, Eismote gets it, knocked down by Gavrikov. Under 7 minutes to go, second period, 3-1 Boston. Zadorov fires off a body in front. Goes into the corner, Gavrikov there for the Rangers. Curley battling for Boston, Dowling comes in to get the loose change. And Fox comes to the near side, and Zibanejad. Zibanejad whiffs. Boston gains control. Here's Steeves. Steeves cut off by Fox. Long turn. Out in front, denied by Shesterkin. And it flips towards Shesterkin, who stops play. Another good chance there for the Bruins. 5:50 to go in the second period. Face-off controlled by New York. Berard tried to feed it in deep, gains it back. Drops it off for Borgen, now downstairs. Rempe, a shot denied by Swayman. And Boston brings it right back out. They have been on the attack for most of the second period. Lindholm a shot, blockered away by Shesterkin. Battle for it in the corner, Boston on the attack. Lindholm, one-timer, denied by Shesterkin. Face-off controlled by Boston. Kept in, Lindholm downstairs and denied again by Shesterkin. Zacha was right on the doorstep. And Shesterkin doing his best to try to keep the Rangers in this game, not getting much help on the other end of the ice. Feels like Boston's been on the attack this entire second period. Face-off controlled by Boston. Lindholm now into the slot, tipped around, loose puck available, and Shesterkin keeps it out. Back to the other side, a one-timer blocked out in front by Coyle, and here come the Rangers. Coyle working with Panarin, looking to get it inside. Coyle back behind the net, floats all the way through and out of the zone. Schneider flips it in, flagged out of the air by Lindholm, turns it over to Panarin. Rangers look to get it back in, and they will with Zibanejad. Zibanejad back up top to Panarin, fires, tipped away by Swayman. Kostelic battles for it behind the net. Lindholm gains control for Boston, and the Bruins get it out again. Zacha working with Pasternak. Zacha fires, saves Shesterkin. Shesterkin's been in defense mode all game long, and it's kind of ironic to say that about a goaltender. Of course, they're going to be in defense mode. But they have been on the attack, the Bruins have, for a lot more of this game, it feels like, than the Rangers have on the other end. Shesterkin gets no breaks. 3:41 to go, another face-off in the Rangers' end. Controlled by New York. Off in the air, offsides, New York. Rangers win the face-off. Perriot brings it in, back behind the net, looking for a center, out in front, Fox! Oh, denied by Swayman on the doorstep. Rangers keep it alive, wraparound try, denied by Swayman again, and it floats to the far side. Rangers get their first, battle for it along the far half wall. Still loose. Floats back up top, Gavrikov keeps it in, back up top, Fox lets it fly off a body in front. Good block by the Bruins. Rangers keep it alive. Fox lets it fly. Tipped and denied by Swayman, who sprawls out. Face-off control by the Rangers. Soucy, good block out in front by Morgan Geekie. And now here come the Bruins. Steves loses it, and Soucy gains control for New York. Just over 2 minutes to play in the second period. Bruins take it away again. Flips into the corner, Lindholm. Battle controlled by the Bruins. Steves lets it fly off of Shesterkin. Now they try to get it out in front. Good defense by the Rangers. Here comes Will Borgen. Taken off a stick by Zadorov. Looks to the inside, taken away back by New York. Radish feeds it in along the boards. McAvoy first guy to it for the Bruins. Morgan Geekie working up top. Geekie sends it in, and good defense by Brzezinski. Loose puck inside and denied by Shesterkin, who will find the puck and stop play. Face-off control by the Bruins. Zadorov off a body in front. Battle for it as he sends it downstairs. Cut off by Soucy. And the Rangers will get it out. 1 minute to go in the period. Berard fighting. Snared by Swayman. 50 seconds to go. Face-off in the Bruins' end. Rangers win it. Schneider fires, stopped by Swayman. Another snare by Swayman. And the Bruins holding their ground. 42 seconds to go in the period. Face-off this time controlled by Boston. Under 40 seconds to go in the period. Kostelic loses it. And now off the boards to Carrick, who brings his way in. Berard downstairs. Rempe denied. Swayman again with another defensive play. 13 seconds to go in the period. Kostelic feeds it in. All the way to the other side. Rangers gain control. Final seconds wind down in this period. Schneider flips it ahead, and that'll do it for the second period. Boston gaining control here in New York. They take a 2-goal lead to the third and final period. It's the start of the third period here from Madison Square Garden in the Big Apple. The Rangers, the home team, trail by 2. Boston dominated the second period of that game, and now 3-1 Boston leads as we start the third and final period. Rangers looking to respond. Zibanejad whiffs on the shot. Lindholm gains control for Boston, and they'll bring it out. Here comes Lindholm. Tried to feed it into the inside, couldn't handle it. Here comes Panarin, surrounded by Bruins. Taken away by Zadorov on the outside. Zadorov up ahead, head of steam. Zadorov works in, denied, just wide of the net. Shesterkin might have gotten a piece of it. Turnover, Geekie didn't let it fly back behind the net. Geekie gets knocked down. No penalty, we play on. Zibanejad up ahead to Panarin. Panarin loses it, surrounded by Bruins. Morgan Geekie. Geekie drops it off for Lindholm. Floats to the near side. Kept in by Lindholm as he feeds it in deep. Geekie there for Boston. Fox there for New York. Floats back behind the net. Carrick gets there for the Rangers. Floats up top to Zibanejad. And the Rangers gain control in their own end. Carrick feeds it in deep. Laferriere gets their first wraparound try, denied by Swayman. The rebound controlled by Swayman again. What a chance there for the Rangers. They could not capitalize. And David Pastrnak, who has a goal in this game, just wide off the pipe. He has been all over the place today for the Rangers, or excuse me, for the Bruins, including this goal right here for the Bruins. (3-1) Boston, early stages, third period. Face-off controlled by the Bruins in their own end. And then they turn it over. Trocheck downstairs, Laferriere, back up top, Soucy, blocked out in front beautifully. Race for the puck, potential jailbreak. Pastrnak drops it off, a shot denied by Shesterkin. Goes to the far side. Now brought in this side, Perrell. Drops it off, Borgen. Soucy. Dowling fires, bodied around and controlled by the Bruins. Minton back the other way for Boston. Here's Pastrnak. Pastrnak whips. Good cutoff there by the Rangers. And they gain control in their own end. Perrault fires. Blocked down by Swayman. And the Bruins will get it out again. Middlestad feeds it in deep, right in front of a change. Rangers get there first. Soucy gets crunched along the boards. Berard cut off. Peak, good defense. Bruins get it out. Good hit on the blue line. And trading blows back and forth near neutral ice right now. Eismo gets hit in front of the benches. Keeps it alive. Feeds it in. Kostelic. Wraparound try. What a stop by Shesterkin. And here comes Carrick back the other way for the Rangers. Berard now on the near side. Pestered by Peak. Peak gains control for the Bruins. Just about 5 minutes gone by in this third period. Still a 2-goal lead for the Bruins. Soucy gains control for the Rangers. Dowling feeds it in deep. Intercepted at the blue line by the Rangers. They have to tag back up. And a penalty called on New York. And Boston's going to get a power play. It's Carson Soucy who gets called for the slash. No, cross check. He just nailed him. So penalty called on the Rangers. Power play here for the Bruins. Already up by 2. Face-off controlled by the Bruins. McAvoy off the body in front. Rangers looking to clear. They can't. McAvoy downstairs to Geekie. Circles back. McAvoy tipped around. And loose puck downstairs. Zacha. Now Geekie fires off the chest of Shesterkin. Back up to the point. Pastrnak off the body in front. Bruins on the attack. Power play. Still got 90 seconds on it. New York looking to get it to clear the zone. They can't. Zacha loses it before he can get a shot off, and Shesterkin finds it. Stops play with 1:22 to go on the power play. Igor Shesterkin doing his best to keep the Rangers in this, not getting any offensive help on the other end. And the Bruins have been on the attack. Look at these stops that he has had throughout this game, including the latest one where he just kind of found the puck. Face-off control by the Rangers this time. And they'll look to get it out, and they will with Coyle, who feeds it in. Turnover, Trocheck back behind the net. Rangers up short-handed, out in front, goes wide, tipped up in the air, and Boston keeps it out. 1 minute to go on the penalty. Bruins maintain control. Victor Arvidsson up ahead, 2-on-2. Arvidsson gets hit. Minton gets it, denied by Shesterkin. Back behind the net. Race for the puck on the near half wall, controlled by the Rangers for a moment. And now they fight for it. Middlestad escapes the pack, takes it in, and denied by Shesterkin. Back behind the net now. 30 seconds to go in the man advantage here for Boston. Trocheck sends it off and out of the zone. And here come the Rangers shorthanded for a moment. Then they turn it over and neutralize. Victor Arvidsson is in. Arvidsson denied by Shesterkin. Good poke by Fox. Final 10 seconds of this power play. Wind down. Radish gets hit. One final attack. Lindholm fires. Glove down by Shesterkin as the penalty expires. And the Rangers kill off the penalty. Back to full strength comes New York. Boston wins the faceoff. Zadorov floats it towards the net, and Shesterkin finds it again. .12.5 to go in a 2-goal game. Faceoff controlled not very cleanly by New York. Back up top, Zadorov. Morgan Geekie into the slot, fires, saved by Shesterkin. Igor Shesterkin doing his best. Rangers got to get it out of the zone. Face-off controlled by New York. Radish brings it up ahead for the Rangers, looking for a center. Radish inside, blocked out in front, and Swayman lays out to snare it. 11:57 to go in the third. Face off in the Bruins end this time, controlled by New York. Borgen off the body, beautiful block out in front by Steves. Morgan Geekie intercepted at the red line by Dowling. Dowling gets crunched along the boards. Floats in deep, watch out here. Lindholm, back behind the net, out in front, one-timer denied by Shesterkin. Face off in the Rangers end again, controlled by the Bruins. McAvoy, good block out in front by Panarin. McAvoy gets it back, fires, and Shesterkin saves another one. Sooner or later, the Rangers got to help out their goaltender. Face-off floats back up top, controlled by the Rangers. Head at the red line is New York. They keep it alive for a moment. And now an intercept by Pasternak. Feeds it into Minton. Minton tried to dangle back. Goes into the corner. He gets crunched. Pasternak keeps it alive. He gets knocked down. Good play by Soucy. Coyle up top for the Rangers. Zibanejad can't handle it. And here comes the Bruins back the other way. Long shot deflected off of the blocker of Shesterkin. Will Borgen there for the New York Rangers. Coyle trying to get it out. Comes to the near side and Soucy gets it out to Carrick. Now Perrault. Perrault back behind the net. Perrault back up top, Fox. Soucy now lets it fly off a body in front. More good defense by the Bruins. They have been pestering all game long. Now Minton on the other end, denied by Shesterkin. Back up top, Pete keeps it in. Downstairs, Zacha. Zacha flips it, kicked away by Shesterkin. And he covers and stops play. .9:17 to go here in the third. Face-off kind of floats into the slot, controlled by New York. Rempe feeds it in. Lindholm gets there first for the Bruins. Curley right back out for Boston. Errant pass, Kostelic. Looks into the corner, controlled by New York. Gavrikov gets there for the Rangers. Here's Rempe. Surrounded by Bruins, Rempe floats it towards the net, watch out! Nearly a loose puck on the inside. It was, in fact, and kicked away by Swayman. Boston feeds it in, allows for a change. Battle for it along the near boards. Boston escapes the pack with it, back up top. Now down low, controlled by New York. Berard gets hit. Errant pass, controlled by Carrick off the wall. Carrick to the inside, Rempe off the blocker of Swayman. Lindholm gets hit. Keeps it alive for Boston. Arvidsson loses it into the corner. Back up top. Battle for it along the far half wall. Controlled by New York. Out in front, Brzezinski. Brzezinski fires, and it's saved by Swayman. 7:23 to go. Face-off controlled by New York. A long shot goes wide of the net. Brzezinski tried to keep it alive. Bruins take control. Lindholm out of the zone. Up ahead. Lindholm tried to drop it off. Back behind the net now. Goes to the far half wall. Controlled by New York. Schneider will get it out here for the Rangers. Taken away at the red line. Lindholm waits for help. Lindholm. Good cutoff. Kept in by Geekie. Geekie downstairs to Lindholm. Back behind the net. Disrupted by Schneider. Steves now gets the loose change. Back up top. Pink whiffs. Here comes Zibanejad. Zibanejad on a jailbreak. Works in. Denied by Swayman. Zibanejad gets knocked down. And here comes Boston back the other way. Minor man advantage for a moment. And they can't finish. Another jailbreak opportunity, but Boston gets back to it first. Zacha fires, knocked down by Shesterkin. Pasternak is in and denied by Shesterkin again. Jeremy Swayman on the breakaway denies Zibanejad, who gets flushed out. Just the top side of the glove was enough to deflect it away. Face-off control by the Rangers in their own end. Under 5.5 to go now in a 2-goal game. McAvoy, good defense by the Bruins. Middlestad backtracks, crunched along the boards, kept in by Susi. Tried to feed it in downstairs, good cutoff by Victor Arvidsson. And the Bruins will attempt to get it out, and they will, with Zadorov, who turns it over in neutral ice. Trocheck feeds it in for New York. Icing called. 4:46 to go. Face-off control by New York. Good stick by Mintek. Fournier turns it over. Pasternak denied by Shesterkin. Face-off control by New York. Gavrikov turns it over. Watch out. Shot off a body. Comes to the near side. Minton. Back up top. Zadorov. Minton off a body. Laferriere with the defense. And here comes Perrault. Perrault drops it off. Gavrikov. Good stick on the inside. Boston continues to play very aggressive on defense. Lafreniere. A shot goes off of Zadorov. New York trying to keep it in downstairs off of Swayman. Under 4 minutes to go. Boston back the other way. Pasternak floats it towards Shesterkin, who will just stop play with 3:31 to go. It's been a defensive masterclass here for Boston in this game. Face-off controlled by the Bruins. McAvoy gets hit up top, keeps it alive. Pasternak. Zadorov whipped, it floats out of the zone. Bruins will have to tag up. McAvoy feeds it in. Rangers running out of chances here, 3 minutes to go. Zibanejad turns back for New York. Brings it up ahead. Zibanejad drops it off Perrault. Fires, saved by Swayman. Curley gets the rebound for Boston. He'll bring it out. Under 3 minutes to go. Feeds it in around the boards again. Arvidsson gets there first out in front. Goes all the way through. Kostelic Downstairs on the doorstep, out in front, Arvidsson couldn't get it off, and New York with good defense out in front. Here's Radish. 2-on-2 if they hurry. A shot snared by Swayman again. 2:10 to go. Face-off, not very cleanly won by Boston. 2 minutes left. 2-goal game. Arvidsson feeds it in. Coyle will turn back here for New York. Keep your eyes on Shesterkin. Hasn't left for the bench yet here in a 2-goal game. Smenajad keeps it in. Panarin. He gets crunched. Middlestad gains control for Boston. Under 90 seconds to go in the game and a 2-goal lead for the Bruins. Shesterkin hasn't left the net yet. Espira. Middlestad. Denied by Shesterkin. Loose puck controlled by New York. Just over a minute to go. Panarin will bring it back up. Shesterkin will head to the bench. Empty net for the Rangers. Gavrikov fires just wide. Swayman might have gotten a piece of it. Boston gains control. Empty net for the Rangers. Geekie sends it towards the empty net. It goes wide. And now Eismo sends it in. Score to end the game. Second goal of the game for Eismo. And the Bruins are going to win it here in New York. (4-1) Boston with 46 seconds left. And Boston with a defensive masterclass in this game are going to take this one here in New York. The Rangers offense just couldn't get it going at all during this game. They struck first with the 1-0 lead early in the game, and then it was just all Boston the rest of the way. And the Bruins dominated defensively in this game, got the goals when it mattered most of them coming late in the first period and in the second period where they took control of this game. The 1 goal here with an empty net to finish it off as the final seconds wind down here in New York. Morgan Geekie sends it around, and that is going to do it. The Bruins come into New York and defeat the Rangers by a score of 4-1. A masterclass by Swayman in between the pipes. And the Bruins get it done here against their rivals. Bruins get their 31st win of the year, improved to 31-20-2. Rangers lose and drop even further below 500, 21-26-6. Your final score from New York, it's Boston 4, the Rangers 1. Masterclass by the Bruins here tonight as they win it here in the Big Apple.